So this is a new revelation that I've come across this year as well. Is we know women like successful men. We know successful men have options. Successful men will exercise those options, and often they're dealing with multiple women on a simultaneous basis, right? They're they're dating multiple women on a non-monogamous fashion on a simultaneous basis. They're spinning plates, and the best ones will always rise to the top. And I've lost count of, and this is again another trend that I've noticed in this past year, where women in the past would do things to captivate a man. They will ask leading questions like, "Hey, where do we stand?" or "Where is this going?" Um, I really dig your vibe. Are you seeing anybody else? I'm not seeing anybody else, sort of thing. Like women in the past have done that very naturally. And I think as a function, again, one of the things I've noticed this past year is that we're seeing women somewhere or some collective of, whatever you want to call it, the matrix if you want, where they're being told not to chase successful men. Make an effort is what they say. Dress up, take a shower, put on your makeup, do your hair, smell nice. They'll throw themselves at these guys. But the moment that they expect him to kowtow to them, and I think this is because they're so used to simping, right? Like simping is a pandemic. This is something that I'm not even going to dive down a rabbit hole on, because I think it's obvious to most people that watch and are familiar with my content. The notion that simping is new is totally bullshit. It's been around for a while, but I think that a lot of it is clouding women's judgment and their ability to look at themselves in a mirror and assess themselves correctly. Attention does not equate value to women. But what they're doing is they're taking all the free attention, the likes, the comments, the DMs, everything they get from the simp. Like, I'm not even talking about OnlyFans models. OnlyFans models are on another level. Okay. I'm talking about the average girl out there with a job, gets up in the morning, makes her breakfast. Becky puts on her clothes, looks at her furniture before she leaves, admires her place and her diploma, goes to work. We're talking about Becky here, right? The average girl has been told not to chase successful men. And a lot of these women, straight up, are screwing up big time. Because a lot of these guys would give them what they're looking for if they made themselves these guys' best option. I'll talk about that probably more on a ladies' night podcast. But just one of the notes that I've made here is that women have been told to definitely not chase successful men. It's becoming more and more common. I'm also seeing it when I get the successful guys calling on my shows who are interested in women, and they're finding, these gals' delusions to be out there, uncompromising, and to some degree unacceptable. Marriage is still dumb. Uh, that's not going to change. I don't see laws or legislation or anything improving in a positive direction. I think that if you're contemplating getting marriage, especially in a country like Canada or any of the states in the US that are hostile towards fathers, um, you're marching into, look, man, there's a chapter in my book on why smart men don't marry. There's a lot of information out there in my podcast. I even did a podcast in the past year on why I wouldn't get married again. It's just dumb. Don't do it. Get your head around it properly. I'm not saying don't have children. I'm not saying don't pass on your seed. I'm saying don't do anything in such a way that the state is in a position to decide what happens to your wealth and access to your kids. Okay. Um, Women still want it all. What can I say? They all want it all. But again, they want it all from guys that they already like, that they're unwilling to make an effort or to chase because they've been told that they're beautiful, that they're the best that there is. Even like we're seeing, what do they call them? Fat influencers, or these obese influencers that have, like, fat acceptance is killing people, right? We've seen in the last few months a lot of headlines in the media where late 30s, early 40s influencers on, I don't know, TikTok influencers, whatever you want to call them, have been dying off because of their obesity is killing them. Women want it all without any sort of concession. There's a lot of good women out there, but there's a lot more not really good women out there. There's deluded women out there that have been told a whole bunch of comforting lies that do not serve them, that aren't going to get them nowhere close to what they want. They'll say, I just want an awesome guy. I just want to marry an awesome guy. And then everything that precedes that is complicate life, justify why. Everything. It's not just guys that do it, women do it too. Like I said, women still want it all, but there's a total disconnect between what all is and, well, sorry, there's a total disconnect between what the all they think that they are entitled to and what they can actually get. So we're going to continue to see problems out there. There's going to be a big disconnect between men and women. I mean, I'm trying to bridge the gap with the ladies' night show with Moff is what I'm trying to do. Like, we're trying to have some legit, productive conversations, but it's like pulling teeth from these chicks sometimes, right? You ask them a straightforward question, and they dance around the subject because they want to manage their reputation. They don't want to come off as judgmental or I'm not interested in that kind of guy because of this reason. It's like, like women want honesty from men, but they're unwilling to provide it. And, a setting when we get into these discussions and rabbit holes, it's just so, men are a lot easier to deal with. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. Men are a lot easier to communicate with and deal with and fix their problems. Because women, they have a totally different set of issues. Similar, but totally different set. Another point I got here is men still want obscene shortcuts. They still want to get out of jail for free. They still want to do as little as possible. Like, is the bar really that low for men? This is a consistent theme that guys think about, right? This is the shortcut life that they want to subscribe to. I keep seeing women on Twitter and Reddit saying that all men have to do to find a girlfriend is just be genuinely nice, have proper grooming, proper hygiene, some interests, and also have any kind of job, even if it's low paying. So by that definition of what women are holding out to men, these guys who want shortcuts are okay with going to work at the Walmart job, making whatever it is that they get paid, having some interest in, I don't know, Fortnite or whatever, GTA 5, 6, 7, whatever happens to be trending right now. They take a shower and brush their hair and their teeth probably. Is this all it takes to get a girlfriend, or is this just something people just say so they can get internet points? This is the whole thing with dudes, man. They listen to these chicks all the frickin' time. And even the ones that are better, even like the red pill girls or like the Mano Swamp girls that are doing podcast circuits or they run shows and they say all these things that seem interesting to these guys. They're not delivering the full picture. Most women don't deliver anything close to the full picture, even the ones that some of you guys, which I'm going to tell you right now, you're dorks if you pay attention to these stupid conversations that these gals are having, are totally missing the point. They're completely missed. And it's why we have so many guys today that start with this mindset, with this thinking process of just being and doing the bare minimum. What is the closest, what is the easiest way to get from point A to intimacy, or whatever it is that they're looking for? Point A to a date, whatever, point A to a kiss. What is the shortest path between here and here? And what's in the path between here and what you want is dressed in overalls and looks like work and requires you to fix a lot of shit about yourself. You're probably too poor. You're probably too fat. You're probably too boring. You're probably too insignificant. You probably don't have very many captivating interests, sort of things. And when you solve a lot of these problems, for you, again, I want to make this clear. It's not to get the girls or for girls. Women just happen to be a byproduct of living a better life for yourself. Again, guys, you shouldn't be watching these podcasts if you're not willing to do the work. If all you want is shortcuts or a flip to switch, there's ads somewhere that are going to sell you some, pop a pill and you'll lose 20 pounds in a couple weeks. It's literally true. They've actually advertised, what's it called? Ozempic or something like that. Semaglutide. I can't remember what it's called, but these pharmaceutical companies, which I'm making a fortune in right now because of the investments that I put in their stocks, because I knew people were going to buy this fucking shit. Guys are going out, buying some EpiPen thing, sticking it in their fat belly, and they're losing weight. They're not losing fat. They're actually becoming fatter because they lose bone density and muscle more than they lose fat, but they're losing weight. And they think that this shortcut will get them, this is one of the critical problems with society. The ultimate problem with society is people want shortcuts. Not just guys, it's gals too, but guys, for the most part, when it comes to solving problems in their life, telling them to get a gym membership and eating better and moving more and picking up heavy shit and putting it down and going to dojo and getting punched in the face and really being humbled, that's too much work. They'll sit there and they'll play video games for hours. Oh, look, I levered up my character to a level 72 warrior with ironclad gold diamond black and purple, they'll level up a character in a video game but do nothing to level up themselves in real life. It's a real problem. And honestly, guys, like, if that's your solution to everything, it's never going to work for you, man. Never. Another note I made here. I'll get to call and Q&A stuff in a second. Give me a few more minutes to sort of rip through this. But there's a fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic access now to data on the internet. The amount of women that will tell on themselves, don't listen to what women say. Watch what women are doing. And the amount of women using social media, doesn't matter if it's TikTok, X, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, whatever Instagram, whatever it happens to be, the amount of women that tell on themselves that will reveal the kind of character that they have is so easy today. Like, never in any other time in history has it been this easy to find out what a chick's made of. You don't have to date her for 6 months to even see what she's all about. You can literally just do a quick search on her social media, the way that she holds herself out to. And again, I see this on the Ladies Night show. Women will come on, I'm a very conservative, God-fearing Christian, and I'm looking for a very conservative, God-fearing Christian man. I want to have a family. And then you go and look at their social media, and it's skin everywhere, tits and ass, right? Nothing about biblical verses, nothing about the religious convictions. And you ask them, well, if you're so strongly, convicted about, religion and God and the woman of God and all this sort of stuff, and you want to get married and you want to have a family, then you must be a virgin, right? Well, no, I'm not a virgin. Yeah, I can see on your social media all the partying and the Vegas and the Cancuns and the Ibizas and the travel and the box of dicks that you have everywhere. It's just like today, at no other time in history has it been easier to see what a chick's made of than it is just to look them up on social media. Women aren't covering their footsteps. Bizarre to me. You'd think with the reputation management that they use when it comes to the Ladies Night, conversations, you ask them a straightforward question. How much money does a guy need to make to be with you, Becky? You make $96,000 a year as a nurse, let's say. How much money does a guy need to make? Doesn't really matter as long as he's a nice guy, would be totally fine. So a Walmart greeter making $30,000 a year is fine, Becky? Well, I'm sure there's some of these guys that make a little bit more money and that would be okay. But if he's a nice guy and he hugs me and he tells me I'm pretty, that would be fine. Bullshit. You can see what women do by watching how they hold themselves out on social media. It's never been easier. Any other time in history. It's super easy now to size up chicks. It's actually surprising how few of them cover up their bad choices, especially when bad choices are being labeled. I mean, I label like my ex feed all the time on Twitter. I label bad choices of men and women all the time. It's very, very easy to, discover what they are. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here and pin down below in the top comment. You'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.